Welcome to All In, a sports talk show with Nichols athletes. I'm your host, Hannah Robert. Today we have Nichols cross-country and track athlete, Lauren Graham. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm ready for Thanksgiving break. I'm ready to go home. Just a little break.
Yeah. How's your semester going?
It's going pretty good, actually. Better than last semester.
That's good. What's your major?
I'm an allied health
Okay.
pre-PT major, and I'm minoring in psychology and biology.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Double minor?
Double minor. Possibly triple.
Really?
Yeah. Depends on how organic chemistry goes. I get organic chemistry, then we get the chem minor.
Yeah,
but
that was a
that's
hard
why
one.
that was a little iffy, so
Yeah.
it's gonna, yeah.
So, cross country just finished their season, right?
Literally, like, this past weekend, like,
Yeah.
Friday, they just finished.
So, what are your thoughts on how the season went?
I think the season went pretty good, to be honest. So, basically, we got a bunch of new guys this season that, like, really helped, like, build up the men's program this year, and I think the men did a lot better than they've ever done, because our coach has been working on, like, trying to build up the men's program, and I think she did a really good job this year, because they finished, like, they had, like, finishes that have been better than they've ever, like, done before. And then the girls, I think the girls were the best they've ever been as a team in Nichols history, too. They placed 7th in the conference, but then when they went to regionals, out of the conference teams, they placed 4th.
That's good.
Yeah, and they placed top 20 at regionals, which is, like, a big deal. So we run with a lot of big schools.
Yeah, I mean, LSU, Tulane.
LSU, I know our region has, like, University of Texas, A&M, like, Baylor, like, those big schools,
names.
like, yeah, big names. So.
And, like you said, like, for Nichols, when you think of cross-country, it's more the women's side that produces better results. But it's good to hear that the men are coming up in this current era.
I mean, that's how, like, I guess it's been seen, because the men's program, I think it just got reinstated, like, right before I signed on, which I signed on in 2019. I'm a senior. So when I first came here, there was, like, barely any, like, men running cross country, and now we have, like, I think we have, I want to say, like, 12 to 14 guys on the cross country team, and we have some, like, really good, like, freshmen and transfers that, like, are helping, like, bring the men's team, like, I think where my coach wants them to be. And all of them, actually, like, all of them, like, they're a good group of guys that work together, and they've produced, like, really good results this year. It was a big deal.
Yeah. So talk about how, like, cross country is kind of like an individual sport, because, I mean, it's not like you're going to tag off with somebody,
yeah.
But it is a team sport. Talk about that.
Okay, so cross country is definitely, like, an individual sport, like, PR-wise, stuff like that. Like, you want to run your best time, but, like, team-wise, like, you're trying to, like, beat out, like, so the top 5 score from the team, and you're trying to, like, beat out other teams. It's kind of like golf, like, lowest score wins. So it's like you're trying to beat out other people's top 5s to, like, kind of, like, make their score go up and ours go down kind of thing. So I think that, like, here, my coach, like, definitely focuses on it, like, being more of a team thing. Like, I mean, she wants, like, us to do well individually, like, definitely. But I think, like, it's the team attitude is such a big, like, thing here. Like, she's always, like, on the sidelines, she'll be telling people to go catch so-and-so so they beat out, like, a different team's number 4, and then that makes us, like, move up, but then, like, their score get higher. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely, like, a team sport, and you really wouldn't think of it like that, because you think someone's just going out there to run their best time, not, like, finish as, like, a team kind of thing. But the team aspect is, like, a big part of it, actually, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So talk about how Coach Salikas and the team builds that team chemistry.
Okay, so Coach definitely has us do, like, a bunch of, like, team bonding things. Like, at the very beginning, before, like, school even starts, we go to camp all the way up in, like, Tip Top of Alabama. I don't know, I forget the name of it. I think it's Mentone, maybe. It's a town, like, 300, 400 people, like, up in the hills. And we stay there for, like, I think it's, like, a week, a little bit under a week. And we stay there and run together, like, cook, like, team dinners, cook lunches, stuff like that. Like, it's, like, getting to know everyone.
Campfire
kinda thing.
vibes.
Campfire vibes, like 100%. I think we were supposed to do a campfire this year, but I think like it was raining or something like that. So, and it's like in the middle of nowhere, so like barely any service or anything. So it's just like getting to know each other. I think that really, really helps. Like before like the actual semester starts, like getting like the team having like, good vibes and stuff like that. But throughout the year, she does like team bonding things. Like recently, she hosted like a Halloween type like party like at her house that was like where we were decorating pumpkins and like we all brought like different foods and stuff like that. Also, when we're at practice, like she always wants to promote like a positive team attitude. Like she doesn't tolerate like the negative like team attitude kind of stuff because if one person's like being negative, you're gonna bring down the whole team, you know. So it's like, and I think the team does a really good job of it too. Like, I think we're all cool with each other. So it's like we don't want that. We don't want that negative energy because it just brings like a bad vibe to practice, and that's not what we want, and that's not what our coaches want, and that makes us perform not as good. So
yeah, and I mean y'all practice early in the morning, so it's like you roll out of bed the wrong way, you're gonna get told something like you're in the right mind.
If you roll out of bed the wrong way, might as well just not talk in practice. That's what I do. I'm like, if I'm not in the mood in the morning, I just don't talk. I'm just like not gonna talk, you know, because sometimes I have a long night, like a lot of homework and stuff like that, and I'll wake up like 4 or 5 hours later. I'm like, I do not want to be going to practice right now, but I'm not gonna bring that to the team, so let's just quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's true. Like a team that like it's one thing to be competitive with a team and practice and compete, but it's another thing to like know your teammates on a personal level.
Yeah.
And
no,
like,
100% agree with that. I think since we're like, and we're around each other so often, we know like each other like so well that it's just like I think that definitely helps like keep a positive kind of team environment because like we all know each other like personally and we're around each other like because like we have practice in the morning, but then like on workout days we have weights in the afternoon and stuff like that. And I know like I don't have a meal plan personally because I live off campus, but most of them live on campus, and I know they always like go eat together and stuff like that, like in the caf. So always around each other.
It's a family.
It's like a family type vibe. Yeah, 100%.
So where are you from?
I am from Cypress, Texas. So right outside Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk about how like running in the heat is hard. Like, you know.
Okay, so originally I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's really different.
So I lived there like a good portion of my life, and then I moved to Texas with my mom and my 3 siblings. And let me tell you, I used to be a gymnast. And then when I got to Texas, I kind of did it for a little bit, and then I just quit because I was like, this isn't for me. Gymnasts aren't usually tall, as you can tell. Pretty tall. So my mom was like, let's try running, right? And our coaches, because I was in middle school, she was so concerned. She was like, she needs to adjust to this heat first, you know? And she was not wrong. That was a struggle. But then, like, down here, the humidity.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You can't barely breathe when you walk outside, much less run. Like,
especially in the summer and like the beginning of cross season, because that's when it's still hot. Like here, it's still hot through. It was literally hot last week.
Yeah,
I literally had practice
a
last
week before
week.
Thanksgiving break.
I know it was 90 degrees when I was at practice. I was like, what happened? But yeah, running in the humidity and heat, it's definitely a challenge. But I feel like it helps. Like when we go to like different places or when like different schools come like down here and stuff, because
they're not prepared.
They're not necessarily prepared for the type of humidity that Louisiana. I wasn't when I signed on here. I was like, oh, it won't be that bad. I live in Texas. Like it's hot in Texas, you know.
Yeah.
No, it was
it's a different heat.
It was an adjustment. It's like you always feel dehydrated. Like you gotta like drink a bunch of water. The humidity is just.
It's like you put on like a sweatsuit and when you take it off, you're like.
Oh my god, no, like at
places.
practice, like I know when we finish like workouts and stuff like that in the beginning of the season, all of us are just like drenched. Like I make jokes, I'm like, I feel like I just jumped in a pool or something like that because that's how bad it gets.
It's rough. So talk about how like the heat is different than like being indoors for like track and field.
Okay.
How are those sports a little bit different?
Personally, I prefer like running outdoor.
Really?
Actually. Because distance runners, like indoor, it almost feels like the air is getting like sucked out of you. Like I feel like my throat gets so dry, and I feel like I'm struggling to breathe on indoor
Right.
track. I think it's just because like I feel like indoor is a lot better for like shorter distances in a way. I mean, it's good in the fact that there's no like weather problems, like there's no like 20-mile-per-hour headwind like you might have in an
Right.
outdoor track meet or something,
Or
which
running
is good.
in like 2 inches of rain. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
running in the rain. Usually they'll cancel it if it's raining. Sometimes not. Or running like cross country season, like if it rained the day before and it's just muddy.
Yeah.
I can tell you
You're
I've
done.
had some muddy races and it's just like that's a difficult run. But indoor, I feel like it's more for like shorter distance. I feel like they thrive better in that. I just know I'm not the only one that doesn't enjoy how it feels to run indoor, like breathing wise, but it's better like weather wise, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, cause you don't
Absolutely.
have those problems that you might have outdoor or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
you kind of already like trained to run outdoors. You just got to train for the event.
Exactly. And like for me in high school, I didn't ever run indoor. So like coming to college and doing indoor track, that was like a really big deal. Like in Texas, I know here in Louisiana, indoor track is like they have their own season for it. Me? No. Like in Texas, they don't do that. Like I don't know what other states do, but like I wasn't used to it, so I had to adjust to it. I still have to adjust. Every time we start indoor season, I have to adjust to that. Like,
all right.
all right, like, I'm prepared to be like having a sore throat for like 3 days after I run. Yeah.
Makes sense. So talk about how like this cross country season you didn't compete but you're still training but you're going into track next season. Talk about how that has helped your mentality or possibly hurt it going into the season.
I think actually not competing this cross country season really helped my mentality because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm some good cross country runner. Like I was like decent in high school. I do prefer track, and I don't know, the past couple years running cross country, I'm very accident prone. Let me put it that way. I've been injured a couple times, and I've had to just like it's like a cycle for me. Like I'll get injured, come back, get injured, come back. So last cross country season, I didn't have the best season. I have really bad performance anxiety. So like it freaked me out to run, and I think that same thing would have happened like this year because sometimes I just don't feel prepared to run. Like they run 6K, like they race 6K. That's 3.7 miles. Like that's a good amount of racing. Like I feel like I get in my head too much. So I think just training and like being with the team this semester and being around like that team environment, but still getting to train for track actually like helped my mentality like a lot. Like
That's
I
good.
feel prepared going into I know our first meet's like I think January 13th, but I feel prepared, more prepared like for track than I've got to. Also, my coach kind of lets me do like more speed type workouts and stuff like that, and she let me like build up like over a longer period of time, so I didn't have to just jump into like really difficult workouts, and it would like get in my head and be like, oh my gosh, I'm not going as fast as I should be. Like I suck. Like I shouldn't be doing that. Like she let me build up, and then I get to do kind of like more speed work. And sometimes I practice with like the track team when they practice on the track, and I feel like that really like made me like in a better mindset to run track. Like I feel more prepared than I ever have like in a while.
That's
Hopefully I
great.
just stay healthy. Just staying
Yeah.
healthy is like the goal right now though.
So talk about some tips and tricks you do to get ready for a performance because you're talking about performance anxiety. What helps with that?
Okay. let's put it this way. You can't really get rid of performance anxiety. But for me, if I get like a good night of sleep, if I eat, because you have to eat, like if you don't eat, you're not gonna have the energy to run a race. Eat, hydrate. You've been hydrating. You can't just hydrate the night before. If you hydrate the night before, you're not gonna be hydrated. You have to be hydrating over the past week. Um, if I just like, I also just put in my headphones and like don't talk, just because like it helps me like not feel as much anxiety. But it's more of like if you know you're prepared, your anxiety's less. That's how I feel at least. Like when I know
Right.
I'm prepared, like if I had like not that much sleep the night before and I wasn't hydrating, I'd be freaking out way more about the race because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna perform well, like all that stuff. But like if I know I'm prepared, then I'm like it kind of like eases it a little bit. and I don't know, not talking before the. I talk a bunch after the race, but like before the race, I just kind of have to be by myself and like have my
Right.
headphones in and like just like listen to music.
Well, I mean, you gotta think everybody that's with you before the race is talking about the race.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to talk about the race yet. The only time I want to talk about the race is when my coach is like telling me like, "Hey, I want you to run this and this." Like, she'll tell me like what splits like she wants me to run, and she always like she does not hold me to unreasonable expectations because I told you I've had a rough couple seasons. She'll be like, "We're just gonna get out there and we're just gonna try and run this, and if you don't, then it's okay." Like, so
Yeah.
it's
having
like
having reasonable expectations is good because when she tells you to run a split like 8 seconds quicker than your normal split, it's like,
yeah.
well,
Like if she was doing that, I think that would spike my anxiety even more. But
right.
I think she knows. She knows. She's like, "No, we're just gonna go do this, and if you don't freak out." Like one time, I literally got disqualified from a race because told you I'm not used to indoor track, and I cut in, and the LSU track has like a weird cut in. And I cut in, and I went over the line, so I got DQ'd because I stepped out, and I was so upset. Like I was crying.
Right.
I was like, "This is so embarrassing," and she was like, "Lauren, I'm not upset with you. Like you ran a good time, even though like you DQ'd. Like you still ran a good time. I got you at a good time. Like I'm not mad at you." So she's like, "Stop being so hard on yourself. Like it's okay. Like I'm not upset with you," kind of thing. So that's what I mean. Like she doesn't like.
Yeah.
You know, I disqualified. She does not hold me to like. She's like, "You ran the time you needed to run. Like I'm not mad at you because you're disqualified. It's not like we're at conference championships or something like that." And I was like, "True,
Okay, cool.
Calm down now."
So talk about like how your coach like uses different coaching styles because you need that like soft and like supporting person, but some people need it like
Yeah.
give it to me type of.
I think okay. So with my coach, she definitely like. I would say she's way different than like any other college coach because she like still runs. Like she runs our workouts with us, like in the front. Like she's fast, like, and she kind of like. I don't know how she gives like different like coaching styles to other people. I feel like she's like more of the same all around. Like she's just like, I want you to run this, and we're gonna go out. We're gonna get out hard. We're gonna do this. I want you to run this way, and if you don't, it's not a big deal. Like I just want you to try your best, type of thing.
Right.
So like I feel like she's really supportive to like everyone, and like on workout day, she definitely like pushes us. Like she'll be yelling at us from the front. She'll be like, "This is your split." She's like, "Y'all need to pick it up in the back," stuff like that. Like, and she makes sure like we're on track in the workouts and stuff like that. But she doesn't have like, I wouldn't say she has like a. She doesn't go too hard on people. She just kind of like has expectations for everyone individually, and if they can't like, if they don't do well at one race, she's not gonna, she's not gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, like wow, this is
Right.
disappointing." Like no, she's always like proud of our performances, even if we do like way worse than we were supposed to do. She's always proud of our performances, and she's like, "It's okay. We're just gonna keep working and get back
Right.
into it." Yeah, she's a really supportive coach in that manner. She's like really helped me a lot with my running because there's been a couple times I didn't want to run anymore, like because I got in my head too much. And she's always just been like, "No, like we're gonna work through it." And I feel like she's like that with like everyone. Like she makes sure everyone like loves what they're doing and wants to be doing what they're doing.
Right.
So.
And I think that's something special to where like she's not a coach on the side saying run faster. She's a coach saying run faster. You're behind me.
She's like,
so
run faster.
It's like it's not an expectation that she can't live up to. She's showing y'all like I'm in it. Like
she'll be running the workouts. I'm like, oh, coach is really kicking my butt today. She always kicks my butt in the workouts though, but that's how it is. Like she runs with our top group of girls, kind of like to pace them, but she's still making sure that people in the back like we're hearing like, "Hey, this is the split. Like speed up," or "This is the split. You're right on." Like I'll be like way further back from the top group, and she'll be like, "Lauren, you're doing good. You're doing good. Like you're on pace, and stuff like that." And she'll be there at the end, like with her little paper. She puts it in like a Ziploc bag when she runs. And I don't know where she puts it. I think she has like a pocket or something. And she'll like pull it out and write everyone's splits down. And she'll be like, "That was good. You were right on pace. You're right on pace." Or like, all right, we were a little bit slow. Like, let's try and like
Right.
pick it up this second rep or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but never like mean or like demeaning in that way. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, why didn't you run it like you were
Yeah.
supposed to? No, it's just like, how about we try and pick it up this next rep, kind
Yeah,
of thing. You
that's
know?
cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I had a coach in high school that was just, I loved him, but he was like, he used to be a football coach, so he didn't really know how to work with like, I guess girl athletes, and he would just yell at us and yell at us.
Yeah,
We got better at the end, but it was not good in the beginning. He'd just be like, "Why did you run so slow?" Like kind of thing, and it's like, that doesn't help.
Yeah,
that doesn't help.
That's doing nothing for me. It's doing the opposite of helping.
Exactly. That's when it's like doing the exact opposite of what it needs to be doing.
Yeah.
So.
So talk about how like dietetics and eating right is important for running and what you eat.
Okay, so if you don't eat, you're not gonna have the energy to run. We put it that way. I know, especially like eating can kind of be a sensitive topic for I think all athletes sometimes, like especially female athletes, but like runners. I know some people struggle with like eating the correct amount because we burn so many calories running cross country that we need to put those back in our body to have like the proper energy throughout the day to like go to class, like go to weights if we need to go to weights, like stay awake in general, like
Right.
function properly, like. So we have a dietitian. She's at Tooele Regional. She's really good. I know a lot of the cross country and like track athletes go see her, and she'll give them like a meal plan and stuff like that to follow through. And she just wants to make sure we're eating like the proper amount of like calories, carbs especially, because we need like a bunch of carbs to like burn energy, protein, stuff like that. Me personally, I've always like struggled with my eating like a little bit, but like this year I feel like I've been a lot better. I think that's also what helped like my mentality be a little better. In the morning I like force myself to eat before I run, which was, I know that's a struggle for a lot of runners to like eat before they run because they don't want to like, you know,
Feel bad.
yeah, I feel like I always had the fear like if I eat before I run, I'm gonna like throw up or something like that, because I don't know, like you think like, oh, I'm about to like go run a bunch of miles, like I don't want to like throw up, like what I'm, but like if you just, I always try to eat something small, like maybe like a protein bar or like a banana or something like that, and I found that it really really helps. Like I have way better runs, way better workouts when I eat before. But I try to eat either protein bar or banana before I run. Then after I run, I'll eat like breakfast, but I make sure like there's a good amount of protein in it because we just like did a bunch usually.
Yeah.
So it's like, and carbs. Gotta have a lot of carbs so that I can go to class and like function properly. Like my brain actually works when I'm in class instead of me just like zoning out or like falling asleep. I know for lunch, it kind of like depends on the day. Like I live off campus, so I have to like cook for myself. I usually just kind of like grab what I have like made for dinner the night before, like in my fridge, kind of like leftover, just to like,
Right.
because I don't meal prep, but I'll always make more than I need, so to have something like the
Kind of
next
meal
day, you know,
prepping.
kind of meal prepping, but not like extreme meal prepping. And then for dinner, I try to get like a good protein source, like maybe like salmon or like chicken. I'm thinking of like the other things that I don't really eat red meat that often, so it's like. But when I take like an iron supplement, like I feel like a bunch of the runners take an iron supplement because
Right.
like
You
we need it,
You need
and a
it.
bunch of them don't eat red meat too, so it's like we need to get it somewhere. I get like that and some source of carbs, so like most of the time I'm just being general here, like rice or like pasta,
Yeah.
something like that. Some sort of vegetable, just cause I like always try. Recently I've tried it to make it like spinach, just because like spinach has a lot of iron in it too,
Yeah.
and I'm iron deficient, so it's like I gotta actually be like very
You
aware of what
actually have
I'm
to
in,
take a
or I
lot
will
of-
literally sleep the whole day if I
Yeah.
don't get enough iron in.
I used to be iron deficient for a little bit, and it's like a fog over your head.
Exactly.
Like you can't think.
No, literally, like I'll be in class and I'm just like, what are we even talking
Yeah.
about? And, like I'll go to do like an assignment. I'll be like, I used to be like, why can't I think of what we were talking about? Like,
Mhm.
and it was just weird.
Yeah. And once I got on iron tablets, it was like, oh my
Life
gosh,
changing, right?
Like no one else was living like this.
I know. I was like life changing, a little life changing, you know. But yeah, I try to. It's more spinach, but like any sort of vegetable is good for that's what I eat. And then if I'm like hungry later on, I just like grab like a snack or something like that. Like, my eating is not perfect in any way, I'll put it that way, but like, it's like balance is key. Like,
Right.
just because we're athletes does not mean we can't like go get ice cream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like balancing it out.
not
Not
every
doing it
day.
every single day, like
Yeah.
not eating fried food like every single day for every single meal, and like, because that's not fueling your body properly.
Yeah.
Like, your body's not gonna thank you for that. It's just like having like a balance. Like, I go get one of my teammates and I, we always go to like event like once or twice a week. We'll just go to Sonic and like grab like a drink from Sonic or like a milkshake or something like that. Like, it's all about balance. So
Absolutely. So, do you have any messages for student athletes or future student athletes?
I'm trying to think about this one. It is worth it to be a student athlete. Like, I know sometimes it can be like hard, especially balancing school and athletics and all of that. But I feel like being a student athlete's worth it. I feel like you get to meet like really good people, because all the athletes like kind of like know each other in a way. You get to meet really good people that have the same type of mindset as you, and you can work with them and stuff like that, and you make good friends and like connections along the way. Like, I just think like, if you have the chance to be a student athlete, you should give it a shot. And then if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But like, I feel like it's worth it. And I'm trying to think of like the right word to say for this. Like, I know it can get like really difficult sometimes, but like, it's not worth it to just like give it up. Like, there's been a couple times where I just wanted to be like, I literally would talk to my mom and I'd be like, I need to be done with cross country. I need to be done. Like, this just isn't for me. I'm not like good enough. But I would have regretted quitting when I wanted to quit 2 years ago. I would have regretted quitting 2 years ago. I wouldn't have made the friends I have now. I wouldn't have like had such a good like, I have a good bond with my coach. I wouldn't have like made the connections I've got to make. I wouldn't have gotten in this better like mindset if I had quit. So it gets tough, but like, it's totally worth it in the end. Stick it through 100%. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being on.
Oh, no problem.
Here's to a good week of sports.
Good week of sports.